Bored now. Going out.
When the DC animated movie line started, there was a desire to tell more mature stories where death could explicitly happen and characters could bang.
About Clark.
Kent? While you're snuggling with me?
Then somewhere along the way they became these bloody nightmares where by the end of the DC animated movie universe, everyone literally died. But there's one film around this point that was kinda perfect.
Heads up, mate!
Suicide Squad How to Pay is a film about how do we assign what people deserve.
She says she's like you. Likes to live dangerously. But she kinda hates you too.
It opens with the boys getting Waller's files. However, two members, Vertigo and Julie, betrays everyone, including Julie's boyfriend. They're going to copy the files and run off to start a family together.
We have a little nest egg.
Notice how, despite being complete dickwads, attention was given to them to make them seem somewhat sympathetic. Their love does seem sincere.
We're soulmates.
Even in prison, things can be arranged.
And if you're in the same spot where you've lived such a dirty life, wouldn't you be desperate to find a way out? But Waller and Deadshot bamboozles them, letting it get to Vertigo's head. Literally, the explosion is so painful and horrifying that Julie cries hysterically, begging to be shot instead. So Deadshot complies. In this line of work, love is only a fantasy imagined at the end of an endless dark tunnel. A tunnel that's designed to kill you before you can reach it.
Something changing your mind. Something changing your mind. Lovely, you want me to be. Tell me, what do you see?
Waller is dying, it's terminal apparently, so she sends the squad off the books to retrieve the Get Out of Hell Free card, a thing from Secret 6, while the competing third party is Zoom and the fourth is Vandal Savage.
Hiss.
The film's tones and themes are surprisingly very considerate and extremely satisfying, largely because despite touching on religious themes and concepts, it preserves a level of baseline nihilism. Everyone wants this card out of an irreligious need to escape their own life's consequences, where it's not just about a shortcut, but out of an act of arrogance where they can essentially sin their way to heaven by stealing the ticket. Therefore ideas of redemption or atonement aren't even relevant to anyone.
I'm immortal, not invulnerable.
Savage wants to use it as insurance, and Zoom, well, he's trying to escape the goddamn bullet Thomas Wayne put through his head, which means this movie is a secret sequel to Flashpoint Paradox. This fun bit of continuity porn highlights just how all-consuming and inescapable this dark tunnel is. You could have the power of the government in your hands, the power of a 1,000-year-old private empire, or be a goddamn time traveler, but you still can't escape the uncertainty of death.
If any of us truly deserves hell, it's Waller, and that knows it.
This existential worry is acknowledged by the squad. Harley and Boomer doesn't really take it seriously.
I ain't worried. I know I'm going to heaven. Anyone who can put up with Mr. J deserves a break.
By the way, 10 points to the movie for having Harley not overwhelm the film. Killer Frost ends up wanting to sell it. Deadshot just straight up doesn't believe in it.
All for a magic trick.
However, the outlier is Bronze Tiger. His whole backstory was that he was undercover as Tony the Tiger, but upon being discovered that he's not an anthropomorphic tiger, the League of Assassins killed his streamer girlfriend, so he killed loads of them back, which included some other undercover agents by accident. As a result, he's someone who's actually looking for redemption, as both as a religious believer and as a warrior.
You joke about heaven and hell, Deadshot, but trust me, they exist. There's not a morning goes by I don't get up wondering if this will be my judgment day. Will I end up with the woman I love? Or face the lake of hellfire with the same vermin who brought me down? The only thing any of us can hope for is divine intervention. Only through the grace of God can we be saved from eternal damnation for all the blood we spilled. Everything else is just talk.
Subsequently, Deadshot and Bronze Tiger mirror each other when it comes to being fellow warriors. One person doesn't act upon his conscience, the other is defined by it. What's kind of fun about all of this is that it's easy to really like Tiger.
And reconvene at 1700 hours. 5 o'clock.
He's just a really cool dude. Out of all the nihilism, his honorable guilt is refreshingly attractive, and his valuable tough immovability.
I did everything in God's power to protect the woman I loved, while you threw your daughter away.
Makes his presence feel valid in the text, to the point that when he's injured, even Boomer is respectful.
That bloody fool. So true blue. So freaking noble.
However, the film is careful to blur how existentially convincing Bronze Tiger's position is, because the order of this corner of the universe doesn't conform to any notions of justice. The only superhero that appears is a former Dr. Fate, who's kind of a buffoon, but has great abs.
Why not me? 6% body fat, 20-inch guns. Hell, I even took a magic class once.
Tiger gets slashed to pieces and killed by Zoom. And even in Tiger's introduction, Waller literally mentions,
"If it weren't for his vow never to take an innocent life, I'd put him in charge."
Thus, everything is a dead end. To try and get the card, you die. Vandal is killed by Zoom. Zoom's murderous posse, Banshee and Blockbuster, are killed by Killer Frost, who's then killed by Waller through Copperhead. Waller herself is doomed for death at the end because the card itself is used.
It feels cold.
It's a cold world.
The only survivors are those who either let go, like Bombshell and Scandal Savage, or those who weren't really invested, like Boomerang and Harley Quinn.
She'll blow your head off too, you know.
You're still not getting it, love. I got the card. No one's gonna kill me and waste a pass to the pearly gates on this tosser.
However, there is a beacon of light to all of this, and that's Deadshot. He gives Bronze Tiger the card and bonds with him as a family man too, before his eyes fade away.
What was her name? Your fiancée?
Miyoshi.
Pretty name.
In this moment, you realize Floyd himself represented mercy and justice to a degree. He desperately wants to save his daughter from a life of crime. He willingly gives the card away 3 times. First, to save the squad from Vandal.
Okay.
Second, to save Tiger, and finally, to Waller, so he gets his deal and leave. He actually gets out fair and square. There's 2 readings to all of this. Either there is a metaphysical order of justice where all those who wanted to cheat their way to heaven don't, and instead fucking dies, while the man looking for redemption does. Alternatively, justice is something that's willed into reality by individuals, flawed people who are willing to walk through the tunnel with integrity and conviction. What's cool is that How to Pay doesn't feel religiously didactic, nor overly nihilistic. Instead, it arrives at its destination through carefully laying everything out with the character motivations, and then knocks it all down. So it all makes sense. The atheist saves the man with faith, to make sure someone who doesn't deserve it, like Waller, doesn't get it.
We're stranded and beaten, reaching for helping hands. We may be defeated, but we'll see them make amends. When the time's right, we're gonna get all that's good. Yeah, when the time's right. Oh, when the time's right.
So this was the Suicide Squad How to Pay video. As you can tell, hell has been paid.
You had enough, smart guy? Huh?